In this module, we learned that although LINQ is extremely powerful and can be used to solve all kinds of complicated problems, it's still quite possible to keep your code easy to read. And if it's easy to read, that means it's going to be easy for whoever in the future needs to maintain it, whether that's to fix bugs or add new features. And by attempting a few simple LINQ challenges whose one-liner solutions were a little bit overcomplicated, we saw that there's a number of very simple techniques you can make use of that will go a long way to improving the readability of your LINQ pipelines. And the techniques we looked at were giving names to intermediate stages in your pipeline. This is a really easy way to make it much more obvious what's going on. And the goal should be that your pipeline reads naturally, with each stage being one logical step in solving the overall problem. And so this means that sometimes the best solution is a pipeline that has several simple steps, and other times the best solution is a pipeline that has just a few more complicated steps, but with the logic to implement those steps refactored out into helper methods. And so we saw a few examples of how a couple of well-chosen helper methods can go a long way to improving the readability of your pipeline. And one caveat we saw here though was that if you're using anonymous objects, then you may need to switch to using properly defined classes or some other way of representing the intermediate state, such as tuples, in order to benefit from strong typing. And we also saw how the LINQ query expression syntax can solve some types of problem a lot more elegantly than the chained extension method approach does. And this is because the let keyword can prevent us from needing to create anonymous objects. And putting two from clauses in a row is a much nicer way of expressing a select many. So don't forget about this syntax, even if, like me, you tend to gravitate towards the extension methods most of the time. And finally, we saw that sometimes LINQ doesn't have quite the right extension method to suit our problem. And while we can often work around that with a bit of creativity, or by using a powerful method like aggregate, the end result can sometimes hide the intent of our code. And so in the next module, we're going to talk about extending LINQ. How can we create our own LINQ extensions? And how can we take advantage of other helpful extension methods that have already been created for us? So I hope you'll join me in the next module.